episode number 178 with Andrew Pieper. Welcome to the Heads Up Poker Podcast. This is Steve Barton.
This is Mike.
How are we doing, Mike?
What do we got going on here today, Steve? Who do you got coming on?
We got Andrew Pieper. He was on last week for about 7 minutes, but this time we really get to talk to him. I'm excited.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. He's been grinding a lot of the Rio dailies. He's even sold a little package for some of them. I'm excited to hear about that. And have you checked out his vlog on YouTube?
No, I have not.
It is pretty damn funny. The kid's got one of his videos has 25,000 views, and he's got almost 3,000 followers. And it's pretty funny. I didn't know he had it in him, but he's a kind of a closet comedian.
So he's not using his A material when he comes on here, apparently.
Apparently not. I think we need to have him step up his game here because.
Okay. We're just boring the poor kid to tears here. On a poker sense, Steve, I was thinking about. I was listening to your podcast that I wasn't in there. You said I think you cashed 7 of 17, maybe, or something like that.
Damn,
that sound about right?
Yeah, it was a third, whatever it worked out to.
Okay, maybe 7 of 21. It was eventually. Are those little daily tournaments probably in the summer? They are, but are they? Because Andrew says he still plays those, and he likes those, and he thinks there's money there, and I was highly skeptical. But maybe you can make a little money doing that.
You mean the Rio dailies, or do you mean like the Win 400s and 550s?
It doesn't matter. Just the dailies, the tournaments you were playing, pretty much. Well, the Win are a different one because they got bigger prize pool.
Yeah,
I'm talking the smaller ones. Like, well, Andrew says some of them he didn't really even pay to get in. Like if they give you a free roll in the tournament if you play so many cash hours, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the thing.
I think you could if you're living very. If you're doing Andrew Pieper and you're living out of a Prius, I think that it's very doable.
Well, I wasn't talking about making a living off it. Is no, absolutely for me and for you and for most people. But I'm just talking about like what hourly could you expect from that? I wonder. I'm curious because the rake is probably so high. It's probably 25%. So if you would need an ROI of close to 100%. But maybe you get that there, and maybe that's within reach.
I think it is.
So bad.
I think it is. The play is so bad. It there's a big percentage of people that have no chance of making the final table.
Yeah,
like a huge
interesting.
And so they're basically they bought a lottery ticket and they ran it through the shredder. That's just extra money to the prize pool, which I guess in theory kind of lowers the rake.
I had some big news, Steve, from yesterday. If I might get into it.
Yes.
I'm bringing it up. Then maybe I might have to stop because it's so traumatic and frustrating. You can. Yesterday, I was the last couple of days have been so terrible for me. Like now, I'm just kind of emotionally exhausted. But I get up in the morning and there's a email from CoinBase saying you have violated our terms of policy and broken such and such a federal possibly regulation, and we are canceling your account.
What?
Coinbase, no longer part of Coinbase.
So what happened to all your currency?
Well, that was interesting. They sent me the email and said log in and you can withdraw your funds, but it needs to be done quickly or something like that.
Okay.
And I couldn't log in. So I was on the phone, and eventually, it was just a total clusterfuck. But let me see. If I could quickly say, let me read the email to you because it's just 2 paragraphs.
Okay. Wow. How long ago did this happen?
This was yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday morning, 8:03 a.m. This email they sent. Hello, thank you for your interest in Coinbase. Our primary goal is to make digital currency safe and secure for our customers. Coinbase is regulated money service business under FinCEN.gov. I don't know what financial network or something. As a part of achieving this goal, we are legally obligated to implement regulatory compliance mechanisms. Upon careful review, we believe your account has engaged in prohibited use in violation of our terms of service, and we regret to inform you that we can no longer provide you with access to our service. We respectfully request that you follow the on-screen instructions presented when you log into your Coinbase account to send any remaining balance off-site to an external address. Should you have any questions, please contact us. I guess they didn't say that I breaking the law. They said I prohibited use violation.
They didn't describe it though?
Well, I sent an email to them asking, listen, I would like some more information here. What's the deal? What is the reason for this? I think that's it. And the other thing is, like,
you can call them. They have a phone number.
Right. The lady had no idea. She's like, somebody will email you.
Wow.
And I still haven't got a response. The other big question here, of course, the only two things I can think of, obviously, is deposit to an online gambling site.
Yes.
Which, if I did, hasn't been for a year, for a long time. Because I might have done it once or twice early, and then figured it out that that's stupid, and then sent it through blockchain or something. But that would have been a while ago, because I use Paxful right now or the blockchain. So. Yeah. So I don't know if that's it. The only other thing I can do is I got a tax extension. I've not filed my taxes yet.
Oh boy.
So, well, I don't think that's it either.
It could be.
Like they have some sort of financial statement that the government needs to have, but
and if you haven't filed your taxes, that could be it, man. Uncle Sam don't F around.
Well, I haven't done anything illegal. I haven't done anything illegal, Steve. I had an accountant contact the government saying you have towards October 1st, but you just have to pay a penalty. You have to pay interest.
Okay.
So there's no law that's breaking and asking for a tax extension. So it's probably the other one. And then, Steve, this is my paranoid mind because I continue to just send stuff to Ignition Casino online, harassing them, whatever. And well, not really harassing them, providing information to people that they're a bunch of fucking shitheads. Yeah. But I'm like, somebody from there has probably contacted Coinbase and say, we're just concerned we got money here that we should let you know that. Now I'm like searching for answers, but it might. The problem is right now I don't know how to get rid of my coin, which I need. I went busto in Vegas and already sold 2 coins. I'm ashamed to say. And now I need more because I had a total meltdown the last day in Vegas, which you can guess what it was. Of epic proportions. I mean, epic. Worse than – I can't remember if I talked to you what happened last year. Last year was just beyond miserable, and but I was like, okay, so what? But so right now I have to scramble, and who knows? I mean, there'll be the Paxful site is interesting, where they have like a chat room, or I don't know what like a wall which you find people to trade coin with. Like somebody will say, send me coin and I'll send you Bank of America. And you kind of work it out 1-to-1.
Okay.
Which is, I would think, risky, obviously.
Can you just transfer everything from Coinbase over to ACR and then pull it off of there?
And then via cash?
Yeah. Or check or whatever?
I don't. Do you really want to have that much money on an online gambling site that could crash, that is having software problems? That's my last choice.
I think your safest bet right now is ACR.
No, you just pull it off and put it in a hard wallet, and it's totally safe. The security is not the issue. Well, it is right now. I have it on a couple sites, which I'm like, well, I need to get them off here. Do I try to find a way? So I just sell them and get the hell out of here right now. And how am I going to get rid of them in the future? Probably, I have to. I'm sure that exists. I'll have to find another site other than Coinbase that I can connect to my Bank of America. Yeah. But Bank of America, some of these banks might be just done with the Bitcoin thing. They might have, so it might be a challenge. The bigger issue, of course, I'm also worried about. Like, I now have lost money through Bitcoin officially because basically I just sold 2.25 Bitcoin. This is basically money from my poker wins in April.
Yeah.
Which when I took that money off Bitcoin was almost 10K. And again, I've been, like I said, I sold Bitcoin high. I sold a couple of them, and at one point I was up 100,000. But I've just kept buying as it goes down, and it's just gone down to like. I was looking at some of my transactions, Steve. Substratum, I bought, I think 5,800 of them when they were at $1.81, and it's now like 16 cents.
Ooh, okay.
So that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've lost money on Bitcoin, but I have a feeling I'm going to get them for the government, and they're going to see, oh, you bought one at 6, you sold at 19. They're almost, oh, you know, plus we're going to have penalty for this and that. And, you know, basically I'm going to be in some financial situation that's going to be maybe even a legal situation. I don't know. I was talking to my one buddy. He's like, dude, do you realize how many fucking corrupt assholes there are out there that we're going to have to, the government has to take care of? I'm like, yeah, but those guys got good lawyers they're afraid to fight with. I'm just a schmuck who's like, oh, you know, what did I do wrong? Please.
It might be worth it paying for a good CPA that understands all this.
Anyways, I mean, needless to say, yesterday, especially when I couldn't log into my account, I wasn't sure if I could even get the coin. In a total panic. So yeah, the last 48 hours, Steve, if I sound weirdly in these kind of moments calm, it's just absolute emotional exhaustion from just being so wound up. And yesterday I made the mistake of going to the casino, and I lost. It was to a friend of mine. I should have, but anyways, it was just a 2-3 game waiting for the other game to go, and I lost $300 on the first hand, and I just picked up and got out of there. I thought I made a good decision.
That's probably the best thing you could have done. Yeah.
I mean, I really need to get back to work here, though. I mean, I need to make some money, especially because I'm getting ready to take three weeks off with my son.
You got to be in the right frame of mind, though, dude. If you're not, you're going to go in there and just fucking lose more.
Yeah. Time for some Elliot here. I don't know. I mean, I thought I just made a bad call. I mean, he had fucking button versus cutoff. I had ace queen. He had kings, queen high flop, and I just called him down. Kind of a cooler, I guess. I don't know if he's capable of bluffing that river. Anyway, Steve, yeah, that's where I'm at. So you hear me whining and everything else. And here's my other whine of the day, Steve. I mean, I'm really fat. I'm trying to lose weight here. And my ankle is just, there's something seriously wrong with it. I think I told you how I injured it. Walking along, there was some MILF walking in one direction. I was looking at her and I fell over.
I've done that with cute girls across the street and just completely eating shit. Yeah, I can totally relate.
But you know, the next day it was like swollen a little bit, but it was like it was really in a lot of pain. So I was expecting, I don't know if you ever sprained your ankle, one of the big black and blue, ankle all swollen up. Yeah,
I've done that quite a few times.
And it wasn't.
One I'm thinking of was from girls as well, looking across the street and misjudging the curb. And
nice. I'm not alone there. I don't feel totally stupid.
Nope.
But it wasn't really like that. So like right away, I'm like, could this mean there's like a tear or something more, And it's not getting better. It's getting worse. I tried to swim because like I'm working on like my exercise regime, and I could swim for like 20 seconds and I get shooting pain in my ankle. Mm. So on top of everything else, Steve, going broke, dealing with some other issues, and and then we could be looking at some sort of. Eventually, I got to see a doctor for it because I know for sure there's something torn in there.
Yeah.
But anyway, Steve, I'm done complaining for now.
Okay.
Would be funny if it was the Ignition people, because I was kind of like taking some pleasure in the fact that I was going to just like cost them business and make their life hell. And like someone just immediately just gets on the phone and like 10 minutes later, my Coinbase account is. I mean, I'm really searching for answers here. I can't remember. I'm sure I deposited at some point in a poker site, but it has not been this year.
I've done it from Coinbase to all of them, I think.
I mean, what else could it be? You're not supposed to. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out, Steve. But I might have to. Hopefully, I'll have to. If I got to sell a couple coin, I think I will. At this price, it's fucking criminal. But whatever. I'll hopefully find someone in the casino and sell them for cash. Would be ideal.
Yeah, that might be your ticket.
Well, so what else? How is? I know, Steve, you got so much time off. You're not probably fucking got to work every day for like a month to catch up, right?
Yeah, I worked 4 days in a row, day off, day on, day off, day on, and then now I have 4 off, and then I go back to something kind of similar. Those 4 days in a row were brutal. 96 hours. The station I'm at, we do not sleep very much at all. And so it gets brutal when you stack the days like that.
Right. And, well, those fucking sorority girls you guys keep throwing parties for in there.
I know. It's like,
it's hard to
new
sleep.
Ones show up every night, and it's just like, honey, I got to get some sleep.
Exactly, Stephen.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is going on with the woman front with you? This is when I'm really pissed off about my ankle. I guess there's no excuse. I mean, just eat less, but I'm like, my plan of I needed to lose weight to feel happier about myself before going for a woman here. But sorry, Steve, I asked you a question, then I interrupted.
Let's see, a couple dates here and there. I'm going out tonight with a friend, and so we'll see what happens. I don't know.
A friend.
I'm open to anything.
You seem to get out of that friend zone pretty quick.
There's an art to it.
How's it going? High five. Then your boner's poking him while you give a fist bump. That would be an impressive boner, Steve.
It would. That was more like a number 2 pencil. But should we bring Andrew in?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, and Andrew Pieper. What's your warm-up routine before you play cards? I'll tell you what mine is. I gotta have me some Elliot Roe. Yes, I will not play a hand of poker unless I listen to that man's voice first. Hypnosis and meditation tapes just before you play so you can focus completely. Listen to an MP3 before you play. You can put it on your phone, your computer, your tablet. He's got them for everything. Relaxing the poker mind. Hypnosis for life value pack. Maybe you need to be playing a little more and the simple volume system is for you. You can try it for free as 7-Minute Tilt Buster. The links are in the show notes or at headsuppoker.poker. This is the next step in poker, the Mindset Advantage by Elliot Roe. Use the code HUPOKER and score yourself a discount. Elliot Roe. Andrew Pieper, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Right on. Well, where are you right now?
Right now, I am at my buddy's place.
At your buddy's place. Okay. Something happened with the Prius.
Yes.
What? She's down for the count?
Yeah, hopefully not. It's something that should have been a relatively easy fix, but it's turning into more than that. So like last week, my buddies and I went out to this spot called Nelson's Landing. It's on the Colorado River's cliff jumps and stuff, and it's about 45 minutes or so out in the desert. And so we went out there, and we took my car, and we are on our way back, and the car just started running really rough. Acceleration was really slow. It was just not running right at all. So we got back we'd met up at a parking garage, and we got back there, and white smoke started coming out of the exhaust, and it was just running really awful. So I shut it off and let it cool down for a few hours, and then walked around and checked the fluids and tried to see if I could determine what the problem was. Everything seemed to be okay, so started back up.
Was
and it was
just
white
smoke, or was it
steam? Yeah, white smoke.
White smoke. Okay, so it's probably burning some kind of oil.
So I started back up, and it was just misfiring really bad, running really awful. So I didn't even want to risk driving it back to driving anywhere. So just shut it off. My buddy lived like 5 miles or so away, and so got an Uber to his place and crashed there. And then in the morning, I went back to the car with a few tools and took out the spark plugs and did a little bit more work, and could see that the valve cover gasket was leaking pretty bad, and it had gone into the ignition coils, and that was what's causing the misfiring and stuff. So I headed to my buddy's place. I was like, "Hey, could I crash at your place for a few days while I order the parts to get this fixed? Because it's just a valve cover gasket. Yeah. I can fix it myself. Relatively easy job." So parts came in a few days ago, and went to go pull everything off the car, and got the valve cover gas undone, and trying to get it off, and it's just not coming off. The gasket's probably never been off in the 14 years that the car's been on, so it's just like glued, is just fastened to the head of the engine.
It might as well be like JB weld in there instead of an actual gasket. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so everything's pretty compact in there in the Prius. So over the last couple of days, it's just been taking more and more stuff out of the engine, and taking stuff out around it to try and get around this lip to get this valve cover off. So
I would immediately go to Home Depot and buy myself a couple sledgehammers, because I would need a backup. I would need a backup in case while I'm smashing the front window it broke somehow.
The set it on fire insurance claim has been considered.
Oh,
I'm not sure if I would have car insurance or home insurance would cover that. I'm not sure which I would file, but
either one would be appropriate. You get the combined policy for the discount.
So I have a mechanic coming over to take a look at it today. Should be relatively quick, and hopefully he can help me out with that. But once that's done, then that should be it. But yeah, that's so that's been and my buddy lives out by the M Resort on the west side of town. So
he's near my brother.
Yeah.
You in Inspirata? Is that where you're at, or?
It's literally like pretty much right across the street from the M Resort in a new neighborhood here.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, so it's a nice place that's just away from everything. So I've been and instead of and the bus doesn't come here either, and I'm not spending $20 in Uber to go to the strip. So I've just been taking my buddy's bicycle everywhere I need to go. So that's been an adventure.
I bet it's hot out there right now.
Yeah. Actually, one of the a side thing I do some days is I crew for a hot air balloon company here in Las Vegas, and
cool.
So that's it's a pretty decent gig. It's kind of interesting work, and you get up like super early in the morning and then go out and fly the balloon at sunrise, and then pack it up and go home. So that's 11 miles from my buddy's place. So, wow. And I actually had to work today. So just got back like 15 minutes before this podcast started.
What time did you have to wake up?
Woke up at 3:30. Got there at 4:30, and then and then rode 11 miles back in 102 or whatever it is right now. Yeah, so I've seen better days, but so it's a
So are you actually piloting these things?
No, sir. Just on the crew for it. So we drive out to the launch site, and we set up everything to blow the balloon up, and then we follow it to wherever they land, because they land only wherever the wind is going. And,
yeah, they're pretty much at the mercy of God.
So
if this was a comic book, we would see the little thought bubble over Steve's head now, with like picturing him like in a hot air balloon with some woman in a summer dress. He's like, oh, I don't need a second plane. I need a hot air balloon.
So you're on the ground crew.
Right. Yeah. And then we pack it up when it lands, and then that's it. And so it's interesting work, and it only takes a few hours, so it's not bad for schedule.
Right on. Cool. It's kind of up your alley too, being a former airplane mechanic. It keeps you in the aviation field.
Yeah. Right.
What's the Steve? Let's see if he's willing to share this information. What do you think the over and under on the? I'm going to say the over and under on a hot air balloon crew is $20 an hour. What do you think they make there? Maybe a little. I'm going to say 20 sounds. I'm going to say 16 an hour.
I'm going to take the over.
Can we get that information?
Okay. So it's actually not an hourly rate. It usually
so your entire bet is stupid.
Yeah.
We can calculate the hourly here.
You both push. It's so I guess it's what time we get there. We usually get there around like 4:30, and then we're done around 8 o'clock or so. So it's like and then we're paid by shift, so it's 45. It varies a decent amount actually, because it's $45 a shift. So, and then plus whatever tips you get, and so it kind of just depends on whatever tips
how generous the writers are.
It sort of just depends on that, but for like what it is, for like the amount of time that you have to invest, it's and the in just the way that the hours that it is, it's
3.5 hours
right.
for $40 would be for 45 would be about $13 an hour.
Yeah,
so
and then plus some days we make more than what we more than 45 and just in tips, and then some days we don't. So
it
just kind of depends.
Okay.
But
all right, Mike.
Cool
second bet. For how long are these balloon rides? Are they all about the same length, like an hour? Or?
They're all around 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay, so for one rider, 45 minutes. Let's see. I'll set the line at 45 minutes. Hot air balloon. How many can you fit in each balloon?
We can fit 12 people.
Oh, these are big. Okay, and how many balloons you got?
We have 2.
2. Okay, 12 minutes. I'm gonna say I'll set the line at 170.
How much they charge for a balloon ride?
For one person.
For one person? Well, I mean, just one ride. It probably doesn't. They probably don't change it for how many people are in there. It's the same amount of labor costs and everything else. I'm going to say it's probably $225.
Oh, so you're going over? Okay. Yeah, that was probably too low. What is it?
So you're actually almost both right, because the regular rate we have is $240 a person, but we pretty much so far we've always had a Groupon for $170 actually.
Oh, all right. I'll take that.
So how's the summer poker wise going? I've been told 2 different things. People talk about what a bonanza it is for the cash games. I know Steve feels that way, but my friend Alex is like, stay away from 2-5 in the summer in Vegas and almost everywhere, because there's just so many grinder pros in there. The cash games actually get worse, tougher in the summer. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Right. Yeah. So with there are probably like 300% more games running, but with some of them being good and some of them being bad, it almost becomes a little bit more of a chore to find good games, just because there's so many running and some of them are good and some of them can be bad. So there's a way more games running, but just because there's 30 games running, whereas opposed there's 10, that doesn't mean all 30 games are good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe the ratio is a little bit higher, but there's still good games there.
Yes.
Have you found a sweet spot this summer where you keep going to the same place rather than jumping around because it just seems so good? Or I don't even know if you'd want to share that information, but the summer's winding down. There's no harm, right?
Right. The Rio can be, I mean, honestly, just not really. There hasn't been like one regular spot that's just been always great. Everything's just pretty hit and miss. Like the Rio can be fantastic some days, and some days it's just awful. So it's just, it really depends on just a multitude of factors, I guess, of what I do try and look at the tournaments and what's running and what events and things and what like the more likely times that a lot of people are going to be playing, or if there's like a small buy-in event in the morning ish, then like a few hours after that, 4 or 5 hours after is going to be a pretty good time to play, as a lot of people bust and like, I'm going to go play the cash. And so
what do you want to right now you're still like mostly playing like 2-3 with some 2-5 mixed in?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I know you said you stay with a buddy. Do you have, when all your poker friends are in town, I mean, do you have any buddies who are like 5-10 crushers? You're like, man, this is where I'll be in 2 years.
Do
you know? Being a 5-10 crusher is not an easy thing to do. There's no.
It's not. Yeah, I do have a buddy who plays 5-10 pretty regularly. He played the main. He played. He had I think like 20. He had like he had like 20K in buy-ins plus the main this year. So I do have quite a few friends that play 2-5 and 5-10 pretty often. But it's I don't know. It's just Yeah, like I can see like where I'd like to be. Like someone I look up to as far as like I'd like to get where he's at is my friend Chase Bianchi. He won a 1500 bracelet a few years back and was just a 2.5 reg before that, and now he plays the biggest games available in Maryland.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so so like there, as far as like future like poker dreams or goals of where you'd like to be, certainly something like that is on the bucket list.
What have you been playing for tournaments? Have you been playing Rio dailies or?
Yeah, so I've been playing some Rio dailies, did a little package for those, and then some of the Golden Nugget. Played a few events of those.
Okay. And what percentage did you keep of yourself?
I sold it for. I did it for mostly for my for the YouTube channel and to have like other people. I'd never done anything. I never sold action on for vlog. So I sold 50% of myself for the days, and then vlog those, and then people can see can kind of like see their investment in a vlog.
I did the same thing this year on the podcast. I'd never sold anything before, but it was a lot of fun. You feel like you're playing for your team.
Yeah, it was really neat. And then keeping up on Instagram story and stuff of how it's going, and your backers are watching it and like, oh man, good luck, nice double up and stuff, all that. It was pretty interesting. I enjoyed it.
It was cool. I would do it. I would just do a quick tweet every break, and then try to include some significant hand that came along, and it was a lot of fun.
I can't remember. I got a horrible memory. Have we talked about the YouTube channel? Because I don't remember hearing about this.
Oh, you and I talked about it briefly before Andrew came on, but impressive, Andrew. The biggest video I saw of you had 25,000 views, and you've got almost 3K in followers, and you just started this like less than a year ago, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Impressive, bro. Well done. YouTube's a grind for sure. But yeah, that's pretty.
The videos are all about just your life in Vegas. Just personal, kind of like you're like kind of in your car. I'm sorry. I should look at it before I.
You're pretty funny, man. I was telling Mike you're a closet comedian. It was pretty good. I never knew you had it in.
That's interesting. I just started Googling. I put Andrew.
Thanks, Steve. Yes, I actually have it's my Twitter name. My screen name online is BikeKing19, or if you just search homeless poker player, like that'll pop up too. So.
No, I just put in Google Andrew Pie, and it came up Andrew Pieper Poker. So that's interesting.
Oh, it is. There you go.
Because like to get Steve up there, you have to be like Steve, Barton, fireman, poker, bestiality. Homoerotic, finally you can find
massage parlors. Oh, this guy, yes. Right on. So, what you've got your YouTube channel, which is highly entertaining. What do you got going on with Poker News?
So that's something I picked up part time this summer. Was working for Poker News. I do some editing for them, and then also did, I think, 6 days or so of live reporting. So that's been pretty interesting. But I was playing at Harrah's one night, I believe, and there's a guy with a Poker News hoodie, and I was like, "Oh, you work for Poker News?" He's like, "Oh yeah," and he knew who I was and had read a few of my articles and things, cool. And was like, "Oh, you should look into this summer. Like, the pay is pretty decent, and like it's fun. It's not, it's all good work environment stuff." I was like, "Oh well, yeah, sure. I'll shoot, my contacts in an email." And see what develops. And so, yeah, they actually had someone like bow out, and it was sort of right before the series. So most of their schedule was already set, but they had someone bow out, and they needed somebody to fill in. And they had read my articles, and they knew I knew poker and knew I knew how to write. So they hired me for those. So that's been interesting.
Did you follow the Deuce to Seven low ball? Is that the one you followed?
Yes. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So you were on that for 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And okay, cool. Did you get to? I'm not very good at playing that. I learned, but did you get better at the game? You think from following it from that, or were you so focused on the players and chip stacks and all that stuff you didn't really?
Yeah, I think so, because a decent amount of what you're doing is doing hand histories, which is actually one of the reasons I wasn't. Someone had mentioned that I should do reporting before, and I wasn't really enthralled with the idea, just because I thought writing up hand histories would get kind of static after a while from just like a writing creative aspect of it. But it was pretty interesting, and I didn't know too much either about Deuce to Seven, so that was pretty interesting to write down, the hands and the action, and like, oh, this guy folded this, or this guy, or this is just a cooler spot, or because you write down the hand as it happens on the table, and then you write it up again on the online. So it was you definitely got some free study content.
Yeah, that's cool. Right on. Interesting.
We got any? You got any buddies in the main event? Who we sweating here? This is the most exciting time to be around the Rio, right?
Yeah.
Is Chase still in it?
Chase is not still in it. He made day 2, but he busted yesterday. Matt Berkey's still in it. He has a stack. I actually didn't see what he bagged last night, but I know he made day 3. He peaked at like 250K or so, but he was down a little bit after that. But Berkey, Ryan LaPlante, I believe, is still in. Britt Hanks, I think, is still in. I got to meet him this summer at the Super High Rollable. That was pretty interesting to rail that. And, it was funny. They had. Don't mean to go off on a tangent here, but I listened to a variety of podcasts, and Poker Central being one of them. And a few months ago, they were talking about the super high roller bowl, and then Britt Hanks was like, "Man, we need to have a super low roller bowl of just like all these circuit grinders and stuff." And Remco was like, "Oh, what about the guy that lives in his car?" He's like, "Oh yeah, we should have the guy that lives in his car." And so I introduced myself to Brent, and I was like, yeah, you talking about the lower? I was like, yeah, I'm the car guy. He's like, oh, you're the car guy. Oh man, you're awesome. And it was a funny interaction.
That's cool.
We've got some Steve. I know Steve doesn't pay attention to this, but we have some former guests who are doing pretty well in this tournament, Steve. I mean, it's still early, but Clayton has, I think, 250,000 chips heading to day 3.
Okay.
Mike Pearson has a similar stack.
Nice.
I think Assassinato is still in it.
Good.
I think, and I think the Saurus is still in it. We'll have to look, but hopefully as we go to day 4
or 5. How about Helmuth? Is he still in?
Don't know. I follow the important people, Steve. I don't give a shit about these shithead famous poker players.
I know.
But anyways, hopefully we'll have a couple people make a deep run. We'll have some.
Yes.
We'll have some fun there.
Okay, I'm going to start following this again. What happened with the guy from New York? He was talking about making a short film based around you.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I had this guy email me from the Guardian newspaper in New York, and he's a writer / filmmaker for them, and he's made a few other videos for them. And yeah, he's like, hey, I came across your stuff. I think you're pretty interesting. I'd like to do just like a short film, like a day in the life type of video on you if you're up for it. And I was like, oh, sure. Like, so
So I'm in talks with him and trying to set up a good time for scheduling. Obviously, the summer is pretty busy for me right now, but yeah, it looks like it could be like a pretty cool thing. And they have they have like pretty big following on Twitter and YouTube, and their YouTube channel has like I think like 600K 600K subscribers. Wow. So yeah, that could be like a pretty good thing to as far as outreach and goes. Yeah. That could be pretty cool.
Are you making anything yet from your YouTube channel or
a little bit.
And how do you do that? Is it through like advertisements when it throws up an advertisement?
Right. Yeah. It's yeah. There's probably like 20 different little variables that YouTube calculates into just how exactly how much you get paid, but it is through advertisements, and then it's how long do the people watch your vlog? Do they keep watching YouTube after they watch your vlog? Is that what you know?
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of different things.
Analytics.
If it's new people, if it's the same people, it's a whole plethora of different things that all add up. But
I can tell you that you're on the right path, bro. The number one thing is you got to have interesting content, you know?
Yes.
And if you can put that out, everything else will come.
Yeah, being interesting and being unique is a pretty big thing. I know for when I was doing some research onto starting a YouTube channel, and one of the big YouTube guys was like, being unique is like better than being better. Like if you can be unique, that's going to be better than just having a higher quality than the other guy that you're competing against. So
sure.
Yeah. Well, you have dustings of humor that come in there that are just perfect. It's great.
Yeah, appreciate it.
It's good.
I've always wanted, Steve, as you know, I've tried just about everything. I've tried the web series, screenwriting, novel, movie, and finally I've come up with the only way as an attention whore that I can do it. I just stand in the middle of the street screaming help to see if someone responds.
Start yelling fire. I think it'll get you better.
So far it hasn't really done anything for me. Maybe the YouTube channel's the way to go again.
Right on. Well, do you have any hands, Andrew, from any of the deep stacks?
Yeah.
Steve, before we get in that, because I just wanted to quickly ask, someone else asked me to say it. Has there been any problem with 6-4 spades? Has any of the people listen to the show?
I haven't gotten anything.
Withdrawn. So no one's contacted you saying they have a problem. Okay, well that's good. That's good.
I think what happened was it was an anomaly. I was the one guy that they pissed off that had a radio show and just blasted him, and then after that, I think they just had a glitch in the matrix for like 2 weeks where they couldn't pay out, and I happened to catch it in that perfect window that, you know, the guy wasn't getting back to me and pissed me off, and I was like, what the hell, you know? So, yeah, I've talked to other people. They say that they just get their checks in the mail, and it seems like all systems go. So,
okay. And the other thing,
I'm still slightly cautious, but every week that goes by, I gain.
You will tell us if a listener contacts you, say they have a problem. Yeah. I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, Andrew. Hands.
Right. I played the two, all of my dailies that I played were the 250, the 1 p.m. Those had the largest field and the biggest prize pool, so I played those. So here's one fairly early on. It's 20K starting stack, so it's like 20K effective and at 5,100. Under the gun opens to 300. I have jacks in middle position.
I'm sorry, the blinds were what? 5,100?
5,100, okay. And under the gun opens 300, and we have jacks in middle position.
Okay. I'm sorry, what are the effective stacks?
Like 20K. We're pretty deep. It's pretty early.
Okay. This is an interesting one because you're always like, okay, if I 3-bet here and then get 4-bet, it's a fold, right? Or can I set my...
Yeah, right.
Okay, I guess standard play here would be make it 9 1/4, you know, anywhere from 750 to 9 1/4, something like that, and then see what he does. Try to get heads up in position. I would err towards 9 1/4 just because lately I've been doing a skosh more than 3x, but that's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking, Mikey?
You can go either way. Either call or I'm definitely calling here sometimes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know if you're when you're that deep. When I go through over 3x, it's because there's blinds and antes in there. There's more chips to be had, probably, or it's someone who's really bad who I really want to ISO in position, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is pre-ante.
Yeah.
And what's the villain like?
No real. We've no real reads. We've only been at the table for like an hour or so. So
older, younger, man, woman.
Yeah, middle-aged white guy.
Okay.
Glasses, hat, anything like that?
No, just no hoodie, just like a polo shirt, no hoodie or sunglasses or anything.
I would either flat or 3-bet smaller. But
that's like to what, like 6 or 650 or
750 maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I have no compelling reason to do so, but yeah, you don't want to get 200 bigs in with it, obviously, but you are deep enough. You can definitely call it 4-bet.
Yeah, and then
you're never folding to a 4-bet here. I mean, I guess if you make it 900 and he makes it 440, 500 or something, even then I'm I'm goddamn calling, I think.
I'd fold to that. But if we make it like 9 and then he goes like 22, I don't think I could ever fold.
Right. Yeah. If he just clicks it back.
Yeah. Okay. I'm saying 9 1/4. Mike says 750 with a 10% ratio in there of calling, something like that, probably between the two of us.
Before we even discuss this hand, would you say you have an overall, tournament strategy? I don't know if that's like, are you like Steve likes, getting reads on people. I mean, his preference would be only playing like big hands probably the first hour and seeing how people play. Mm-hmm. Or are you like pushing edges pretty quick and like trying to kick people in the teeth because everybody's so passive early because they got so many chips and they're waiting for, a hand?
Yeah, it's I developed for early on in tournaments, especially like dailies that tend to start out relatively deep stacked and then all of a sudden like the effective stacks are 10 bigs later on. I've tend to especially tend to just open and use larger sizes earlier, just because people will call, just because they I've some tables, like, people are so bad, like they'll just call like I'll open 5x and people get 4 callers just because I have 20K. It's it's
okay.
nothing.
This is nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so earlier levels in small dailies, I started using larger sizes early, and then when it gets down to pretty short stacks, then like min opens just work pretty well.
Yeah.
If you're not shoving.
I like it. Okay, so what did you do with the jacks here?
I made it 1,000.
Okay.
Me gusta.
Okay, and the cut off cold calls, and then the player under the gun calls as well.
Okay,
and cut off doesn't really end up being too relevant in the hand.
Okay.
So is pretty good for us. It's Jack 10 8 rainbow.
Jack 10 8 rainbow, and we got 3,050. No, 3,350. No, I'm gonna get
3,150.
3,150. Thank you, Michael.
You should play poker for a living.
Yeah, I know. I can add, I swear. Okay, Jack 10 8 rainbow. We're only losing to Queen 9 and 9-7. All right. Good flop. UTG, what does he do?
He checks, and it's actions on us.
Okay. UTG check. Actions on hero. We have the cutoff behind. Into 3,150. See, now, I don't ever want to check here, I think, on this board with this hand, and just because there's Yeah, you're not going to give the 9 a free card. You can get value from all sorts of. You can get value from Ace 9 here. You can get value from. We block the hell out of Queen Jack, but if they got the Case Jack, you get value from that. I think you get value from a 10. Yeah, we got a bet. 3150. I'm going to go over or under half. Right around half, I guess. Maybe 15, 16, 17. Maybe even more. Maybe this is one of those spots where we could go like 22 and still get called by a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to cut it down the middle. I'm going to say like 1900.
Okay.
What do you think, Mikey?
Yeah, I'm definitely betting. I agree with you there. There's no reason to. I don't know if it's a Jack 10-5 board. That makes a difference, obviously. Then maybe you're more likely to check. But you got a big hand. You want to play for stacks here, right? So let's get some chips in. Yeah, I would probably even bet bigger. I mean, I guess he still might call with Ace King or Ace Queen. Yeah. Ace Queen's the double gutter. Ace King, he might want to peel one. So there's no reason to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, there's no and if he's got 6s, 7s, whatever, I guess you could say, well, if I check here, maybe he'll make a move on the turn. But likely you're not getting any chips from him anyways.
Yeah.
If he was set mining with some crappy, with some smaller pair.
Pocket 5s or something, yeah.
Yeah, so just bet your hand and hope to get some chips in there. And, of course, if this is a bad beat story where he's got Queen 9, then you shrug your shoulders, whatever.
Yeah, I like your argument, Mike. I'm gonna bump mine up to like 22. I think you're right. Queen Jack right there is double gutted. Queen Ace Queen is double gutted.
Yeah, we don't almost even. We don't really have to. I mean, if we want to do it here, when Carlos is setting up for the shove, he already knows like precisely the numbers he's betting for flop and turn. So if we bet just 1600 on the flop, then we got 6350 in, and then on the turn maybe you bump it up to 3900, and then you got 7800. Then you got 15K in the pot.
Yeah,
and then you're shoving even less than pot on the river. You're shoving 11 on the. So we don't necessarily have to bet it real big if we want to get it in by the river. I don't know what we'd be targeting to get it in with, because
that's the thing. Because we just
if he's got aces, kings, he could be slow playing aces or kings, or being a little bit cautious with queens, wanting to make sure no ace comes. So it's hard to imagine us getting it all in here with him with a one pair hand. Rainbow flop, especially here,
right.
But. I'm betting on the bigger side, Steve. I like 2200. Sounds good. So, Andrew, what did you decide to do?
I decided on 2000, so just under that.
Okay. 2K. Cut off, I guess, folds?
Cut off calls. And I think on calls as well.
So the cutoff's not relevant. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, all right, fine. He's semi-relevant.
Okay. All right, so we got 9150. Yeah. I had in my head that this guy was folding all the time. Don't plant seeds, Andrew. Don't plant seeds. Okay. We go to the turn. We got 9150 in the pot. We got pocket jacks on a board of Jack 10-8 rainbow.
Correct.
The turn is...
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
No, let's just do the turn. I'm not ready for deeper. I'm just like a pro probably knows like which cards right here are you betting big, betting small, checking back. But we'll just see what the card.
Oh, right. That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay.
So
nines if a 9 comes, we're checking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're hoping for the board to pair here with a 10 or an 8. Obviously, would be.
Yeah. Yeah, a 10 or 8 or like a deuce, I guess, would be like best
Jack
cards.
Would be interesting.
Jack would be.
Okay.
Yeah. So the turn is the 7 of clubs, so putting up backdoor flush draw.
Okay.
And on the gun checks, and it's on us.
9150 in the pot. Let's see.
It's 4 to a straight there now, right?
17 behind, and there's
correct. Yeah. 7, 8, 10 Jack. two clubs.
I think check call one, right?
Yeah, I'm going to check and see what happens here. I think this is kind of a neat spot, I guess, if we're going to check, because we have the cutoff to act and then UTG. So if we go check, the cutoff bets and then UTG raises, we don't have to put any more in here, and it's a very easy fold. If we check and like the cutoff bets and now UTG calls, that could be, I don't see how we could fold there unless it's like super big or something. I think the toughest decision would be if we check cutoff checks UTG bets. But yeah, I don't think we can bet here because I don't think anything. What are we getting value from? I guess we're getting value from two pairs, but are they really?
Well, this is early stages of a deep stack, and that's our theory from the beginning. Is why we can size up our bet, is people just don't like to fold. So we can get value. I mean, pointing out like the level of competition matters a lot in a hand like this.
Yeah.
Because if you check this in a $200 tournament online, you need to check your 9Xs too, or you're going to get destroyed.
Yeah, true.
They're going to bomb it here and shove river if they smell fear out of you. You know what I mean?
So 10-7, 10-8, pocket sevens, pocket eights, which probably raise on the flop. So yeah, okay, we can get value from like 7-8 suited, 10-8 suited, 10-7 suited.
How are we ranging here? One of these guys a lot of times has like queen king kind of thing.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have a lot of 9Xs, but 9-10 suited, 9-10 suited pocket nines. Maybe once there's an overcall, I guess the original raiser could have ace-9 suited.
Maybe 8-9 suited.
Possibly. Yeah. Well, I think I just said that.
I thought you said 10.
I said 9-10 suited. Sorry, 8-9 suited. So yeah, we can't take nines out of the range.
Maybe this is a bet fold, but I hate to not get to the river.
Right. Yeah.
That was sort of my mentality.
We miss the value from the two pairs if we check, but
if you want 10x to call, and you think they'll only raise, like I said, if these are face-up players, you bet small here to get them. To get him to call with 10x and maybe some worse hands to charge him for queen king. And if they raise big, you're like, oh, they always have it.
Yeah.
So the level of the competition. So if I'm going to bet fold, though, I don't want to bet big because they're probably going to reveal the strength of their hand a lot and how they respond to it.
Right.
So we got 17K behind. There's like 9K in the middle. Are you thinking like 31, 32, something like that? Or are you thinking like 25?
Yeah, that sounds about right. A little over 3K, 3,300 maybe or something.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
My first instinct was check. I don't think check's a mistake here, certainly.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and actually, you're gonna hate me, Steve. I misread my my hand history. The cutoff actually is extremely relevant. The under the gun is not too relevant.
I tell you what, on the next one, Andrew, let's not say any relevancy towards specific players because it'll affect the.
All right. Yeah. This guy's in. And this guy's in.
Yeah.
We'll find out what
happened at the end of the hand. Okay, let's start at the beginning. All right. Okay. 31 to 3,300 final answer. What'd you end up betting, Andrew? Or did you check?
Multi-way, just I think heads up I'm a lot more likely to bet, but yeah, it's really hated to like bet and then get raised. Getting two callers on this board texture was...
So he checked. And what did the
I checked. Cutoff bets 3K, and under the gun folds.
So on hero. Okay, so there's 12K and change in the middle, and it's 3K for us to call, so we're getting like 4 to 1. Yeah, I'm calling here and hoping to pair the board.
You don't say. Yeah, I decided on to call here. Okay. And then so we're heads up on the river.
Okay, so you call 3K. There's 15K in the middle. And the river is?
The river is the deuce of clubs, completing the backdoor flush draw.
Okay, so the final board now is Jack 10, 8, 7, deuce, with a backdoor flush draw coming in, and the action's on us. I don't see any reason to bet here. Do you, Mike?
No.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he bets big so I can fold. But if this asshole bets 4,000, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Yeah, and then I'm going to call and see his 9. I check.
Yeah.
Okay. And cutoff?
I check, and the cutoff bet's 5.5, 5,500.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got 20,650. In the middle has 5.5 to call.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sucks.
I know. That's what I said.
Like, is he ever just doing this with 10-8? Or pocket 7s? Or flat? I guess our line looks kind of weak. We just bet the flop and then checked.
Yeah.
So we're pretty.
He's only got one bluff in his range, pretty much, which is king queen.
Yeah.
That's it. So he doesn't have enough combinations of that to do the value hands.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't think he's value betting like pocket 7s here or 10-8,
right, or
8-7. I think he's just got like a 9 every time, or like you said, king queen.
He's
never doing this with ace jack if he has the case jack, right?
Top pair? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
On the other hand, like I said, we're talking about how, if he's taking 9x and flushes out of your range, I guess he could be value betting 2 pair. That's possible.
I think amateurs in these dailies, though, they're just always checking behind there with that.
Right. I mean, I think this is supposed to be a fold. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a fold, but yeah. I mean, what was your opinion, Andrew? What we're talking about there? I mean, did you see this as very polarized? It was either 9x or somehow a misdraw.
Yeah.
Or do you think there's ever like somehow he shows up with kings here and he just is overvaluing his hand?
Yeah. I didn't really think he was trying to bluff. I do think it's probably likely a value bet. I think he can still. I mean, I don't know. Some players also still try and slow play some sets sometimes. So I think he can still have some sets and some 2 pairs that he does bet for value. I don't know. It seems like, especially when it's so early, a lot of people, I think, just 1 pair plus hands they think bet. But I don't know. Be wrong on that. But anyway, yeah. So I think he's value betting all his 2 pairs, all his sets, and then probably not too many bluffs really. But yeah, again, it's just like a pretty good price.
Okay. So sounds like you called.
Yeah. So I ended up I didn't snap call right away. Yeah, I thought about it for a while and was like, well, I only put the flop and then just checked, and I feel like under up for top set here. So so I just thought he could have some worse hands sometimes. So I tossed him the call and he tables ace 4 of clubs. For the
back door. Wow, he called that on the flop?
Yeah. You can't just put him on. We didn't even break down the flush combinations, but he did have a fair amount of them with. But a lot of them contained a 9.
Cold called, pre-flop.
Like king 10 of clubs, we or something.
I'm telling you, these Rio dailies, man, pretty value.
Yeah. I don't know. I think not a lot of bluffing in his range there.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah. I still think, although he came up with some weird ass hand, that I think that was a fold. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a fold.
Yeah, I would have folded. It's just too, I think, likely that he's got it and he's not bluffing,
Right.
Yeah, I think there's just the combinations of king queen in there that would make a decent bluff in this spot, but Yeah, I'm letting it go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right on. Interesting. Well, that was a cool
for just like a little $200 daily. I thought that was a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Well, let's wrap it up. Thank you for coming on, Andrew, and we'll put links in there to your YouTube channel and your Twitter, and I wish you the best, man. This is fun. What's coming up on the schedule? Are you going to keep hammering out these dailies? What do you want to do?
So it's summer's winding down. Next week I headed to Florida for a week or so. My mom's having a birthday and turning 60, and everyone's surprising her, and so she has no idea that everyone's coming out. So that'll be cool.
Cool.
And then then the series wraps up. Work my last few days for poses, and then I'm not really too sure of what the post summer fully entails. We'll have to see. Haven't really got to that point yet with all the few things that have been happening.
Well, you can play that one by ear and fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
Right on. Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on, Andrew. Thank you, Mikey, and thank you for tuning in. Here is your weekly motivational speech.
What's stopping you? Are you too tired? Didn't get enough sleep? Don't have enough energy? Don't have enough time? Is that what's stopping you right now? Don't have enough money? Is that the thing? Or is the thing that's stopping you?
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity potties and your pity parades. If you ever see me in a Rolls Royce, a 6 or 7-star hotel, living my life to the fullest, don't get jealous of me, because I worked my ass off to get it. Nobody handed me nothing. Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside. It's game on. It's go season. It's time for you to take advantage of the access and the resources that you have in your country and your community. You got a problem with your life. You got a problem with your environment. Do something about it. If you want it, go get it.
Recognize the excuses are not valid. They're conjured up, they're fabricated, they're lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is uphill that's worthwhile. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my God, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
If you want it, you gotta go get it.
This is your chance. This is your shot. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your place. This is your opportunity.
This is my time. This is my moment. Tomorrow. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. We only got today. It's your dream. If you wanted to have it, get your butt up and make it happen. If you wanted to have it, rise and grind.
You still got work to do. Stay on that basketball court. Stay on that football field. It's grind season, homie.